evening or good morning, wherever you are. From Minneapolis, Minnesota, broadcasting live. This is Magic Brad on the Magic Brad Show. And this is going to be a lot of fun because I have another fellow magician, a guy I've known for a while virtually. Oh, we don't use that word, because it's not. I've known him on Facebook. But guess what? He's in the green room somewhere. I've got a bunch of hors d'oeuvres back there. He might have some spinach on his teeth. Let's go find him. Mr. Dean. There he is.
Howdy. Woo!
The Dean of Marketing. How are you doing?
I woke up breathing almost every day this week. I am like way too blessed by the best to be stressed by the rest. It is
you and your rhymes, I'm telling you. I love all that stuff. Watching your podcast with all your chocolatey goodness and all that.
Yeah, baby.
So you are out on the west part of town over there in Nevada. Correct. And I used to think it was Las Vegas, but you're not Las Vegas. You said Tahoe?
Yeah, Reno Tahoe area. Yeah. That is the western northern portion of the state of Nevada. Right, I'm on the California-Nevada border.
Okay, so we're going to be talking today about pursuing the passion of magic, because I'm 64 and kind of been there, done that. And my wife says, you should still do magic. And it's like, I don't want to be, I live in Minnesota where you got that snow and those snow banks, and you pull that two-wheel cart to the hotel. And I don't know if I want to do that stuff anymore, but I still got the passion. I still got the bug, once in a while you got to grab a deck of cards and do something. And yeah. So how do you keep your passion going? Because you've definitely been at this for a long time and focused.
Well, passion doesn't pay the bills. Action does. That said, if you do what you love, you'll never work a day in your life, that sort of thing. And that's somewhat of a misnomer, obviously, every single day you don't wake up going, oh, I want to, I love to, I long to, sometimes you just do what you got to do when you got to do it. The key to success, they say, is that successful people have simply formed the habit of doing the things that unsuccessful people are unwilling to do, regardless of how we feel. We just do it anyway, right? The good news is that both you and I, we get a chance to do what we love to do, and we also get a chance to profit from it and be of value, service, support, and encouragement to other people at the same time. So it's a win-win-win-win-win-win. Did I say win? I meant win. Win-win way of doing business and generating a lifestyle.
I go that way too. It's like 3 wins. It's not just 2 wins, because it's there's more than, it's just more than just you and me involved here.
Right. Absolutely. Well, absolutely. We do a win for X, which is, you win, I win, the audience wins, and our champion partners win all at the same time. So everybody wins.
So here's your website, Mr. Dean Hankey.
Sure.
That's how, if anybody wants to get a hold of you.
Absolutely.
And just so they know, there is this payitforwardandprofit.com. Now that's different than your website. What is it? What is that? This specific domain?
Yeah, Pay It Forward and Profit is a movement. It's a methodology, and for the sake of this conversation, it is a suite of tools and gifts. No ugly opt-in, funky funnels, slimy sales page, any of that stuff. It's just free gifts, some training, some tools, some resources, some downloads, some templates, some gifts, some connections in our community of like-minded mindset and passion professionals on Facebook and so on. So it's just a bunch of free, cool tools that you can use to grow your business bottom line for, free. Well, free is also a misnomer, as you know, because there is a price for every prize, right? There is a price for every prize, and the price has to be paid, and the price is very personal in that you have to pay the price. If you don't pay the price, there will be no prize. Or if you don't pay a price, that's the prize you get, right? So you have to put some action into it. That's right. The booby prize.
For every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction, right? When you exhale, you got to inhale, otherwise you die.
That's right.
So you got to have that exchange. And some people don't understand that. That's one of the frustrations I have with the internet these days is everything. You got Facebook's free, Pinterest is free, LinkedIn is free, TikTok, everything's free. So when people come and they got to actually give something, which might be as simple as their email address, right, they kind of don't want to. It's kind of strange. Sure. We've been programmed into getting things for nothing. And that's not the way it works.
No, it is not. It is not. And that's the thing is, free, again, sort of a misnomer, because there's an investment. You're always making some kind of deposit or withdrawal in every human interaction, and even in your interaction with yourself. We call it T4, the time, talent, treasure, and trust. You're always making some kind of investment. So, and if you don't have a lot of money, then you're probably going to invest a little bit more time into getting what you want. If you have more resources like money or treasure, you might be able to, do a line hop, or, things like that. You may be able to jump the line a little bit because you have some resources to invest. But either way, there's a price for every prize, as they say. Yeah.
So when you do your writing or your all the little rhymes and things that you've got, you actually write them down and then brainstorm on that stuff, or is it just kind of flow out because you're like a rapper or something?
It is years of celibacy and self-denial.
Okay.
And I'd like to think all those years of prison not a complete waste of time. That being said, obviously, things just come trickling out because it's been a pattern for me, just like everybody has their own established patterns. Some of them I write down for posterity. Some of them I haven't used for years. And I like them because they, cause people to lean in a little bit. And it's frankly, it's our style. It's my particular brand of chocolatey goodness, as you referenced earlier. It's language matters. What we say. As a matter of fact, here's a killer business strategy. It's a magical strategy. And here's a really cool gift, and we call it TV, or transformational vocabulary. And that is that words matter. Words have a physiological, even a neurological response. So, for instance, here's one that might serve you. Instead of calling the people that pay you money on a regular basis, instead of referring to them as customers, clients, suspects, prospects, victims, that kind of language, what if instead those people give you thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars each and every year, or on a regular basis? Instead, what if we refer to them as champions, or rock stars, or legends, or heroes, or family, or friends, or part of the inner sanctum, or the community, or anything? But we don't have customers, clients, suspects, prospects, victims. We only have a family of members who support us because we support them in return. So it really is that simple. So and there's all kinds of language distinctions. Like we don't have contracts. We have understanding. We have agreements. We have service support agreements. We have, things like that. Listen, if we had a champion relationship, i.e., what some people refer to as a sponsor, and you're giving us, $350,000 or $350 or $3.50, doesn't matter. Wouldn't you much rather be referred to as, because of the generosity and the kindness of our champions, we're able to support this group, this cause, this organization, because of our rock stars and heroes? Or would you rather, because of our sponsors, we get this done, or, so.
Right. The term sponsor, it's kind of like, oh, you want us to just give you a bunch of money so you can do your event, and then we get to put our logo on something, right?
That's right.
Yeah. I've got a friend that has a directory of activities for the schools, and he calls his customers partners.
That's right.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Why not? And they can be profitable partners, by the way.
We've got a fellow magician friend of ours, Mr. Frank Togus. He's in Minneapolis, saying hello, guys.
Frank. How are you, Frank? Good to see you. I'm glad you're here. So he's sort of a glutton for punishment, is what Frank is saying.
Well, I think all magicians realize that it's going to be a punny situation, and it's going to hurt. It's going to be painful listening to magicians.
That's right. It is.
So let's talk a little bit about the sort of semi-pro magician that wants to get out of their job and maybe do it full time. What kind of advice do you have for them? Usually when I talk to them, it's like I try and tell them to plant their seeds in a fertile garden. Like when I first started, one of the first things I joined was the Minneapolis Convention Bureau, because I knew that if conventions were coming to town, I'd work. And then I worked with Meeting Professionals International, because they're event planners. That's who writes the check. So it depends on where you're planting your seeds. Do you have any wisdom for where a person might get the gig?
Sure. Here's the thing. I would encourage, as performers and presenters, entertainers, educators, I would encourage us to stop looking for gigs, to stop working for a paycheck or a payday or looking for bookings or contracts. Rather, instead, look to serve. Let me give you an example that worked for me in my entire career and how I was able to generate well in excess of $20 million, not only for my business and more, but for charitable cause groups and organizations all over the world, educational institutions, faith-based foundations, and so on. And that is based on the principle that of the pay it forward and profit movement. And that is, first, pay it forward, and then you profit. Most people have this backwards. We make terrible assumptions about what's going on in our world, and we assume that, the best way to do business is to get business. In fact, the best way to get results is help other people achieve results. Let me ask you this question, Frank, and certainly you, Brad. What would you say, for instance, if I said, what if there was a way I could help you generate an extra, I don't know, $100,000 in the next 3 to 6 months over and above what you're already generating in your business? And I could help you do that with some simple strategies that I'd be willing to give you. Would you be more or less interested in wanting to know more and or potentially wanting to work with me or reward me? If you get those real results, would you have any problem saying, wow, maybe he does know a little something. Maybe he does and is willing to help me. Maybe I'm willing to pay him for more of his, again, special brand of chocolatey goodness, right?
Sure.
So
it's the kind of you got to give to get kind of thing. It's almost giving away free samples to.
Yeah, but it's honestly, yes, there is some strategy and there is some transactionality in it. But if you serve from a perspective of not transactional, that is that, for instance, when I was 7, I was making, a reasonable living. And we make a lot of assumptions about serving. We mean some people, well, for a moment, you guys have made some assumptions, I'm sure. I don't know if you realize this, but the glasses that I'm currently wearing have no lenses in them. Now, I only do that for one reason only, and that is I wanted to challenge you to think outside your parameter of what you thought. No, I do need these, so these are real. That listen for a second instead of challenging this assumption or this presumption. Serve your way to success. For instance, when I was 7, I wasn't looking for gigs. I wasn't looking for events or contracts or paydays or paychecks. I was simply looking to serve. And how I did that specifically and strategically was I'd go to the other elementary schools in my area and I said, what do you need? And they'd say, oh, well, we need to do this, that, and the other thing. We want to help do this for the senior class trip or for the library. Want to get some computers in. That's long before our time. But anyway, all that stuff. And so I said, well, how about if we partner together? I'll do a magic show. We'll do a ticketed event and we'll partner together and we'll do a partner's profit share. So in other words, instead of me coming to you saying, pay me, I'm saying, let me pay you. And we do 2 or 3 sellout performances a night with no more than a day's notice. I'd go in on a Monday and do an educational, fun kind of assembly and then invite people back on Wednesday night for a family fun enrichment night, right? Big show. We're going to do a magic show and, do all the things, you see the principal get their head cut off. You're going to see somebody from the audience is going to float on thin air, blah, 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 whatever you're going to do. And they would pack out, we'd sell 2 or 3 sold out performances and we do a simple profit share. We do it, let's say for the sake of this conversation, let's do a 50-50 split. So if we generated $5,000 or $10,000, which was not unusual even back in the 70s, that in ticket sales, that it was okay that I would get, $25 to $37.50 as a revenue share. Plus I would sell stuff in the back of the room and they'd sell concessions. And now they didn't have to pay for the assembly. They didn't have to pay for the magic show itself. It was all. Now, if nobody showed up, no risk, no foul, no loss, we pack up and go home. That never happened, thank goodness. But that being said, we have two payment programs, one where you pay us, the other where we pay you. Which would you like to talk about first? And the same thing applies to any opportunity you can imagine. I do almost all of my own business development training programs. I fill all of my auditoriums and events, online and off, by simply serving charitable cause groups and organizations, partnering together with them, and partnering with Main Street mom and pop business leaders, and partnering with the community to pack out these events. I didn't have the list. Brad, I'm guessing you know people I don't know. I'm guessing perhaps that I might know somebody you don't know. And that's the magic of partnership, right? So if you decide to do an event and you invited your friends, I invited my friends, there's a chance we could have a couple of people show up.
Yeah, that's where the heck is it? That's my thing is synergy collaborative.
That's exactly
it's
right.
Like 1 + 1 = 2. So what you're saying here is you present this thing in a way that there's basically zero risk.
That's correct.
And they can look at it and go, there's really nothing to worry about here.
Right.
And that eliminates the price shoppers.
Well, and here's the thing. As a performer or a presenter, you don't have to wait for the phone to ring or the text to ding or any of that stuff. You simply get to choose when and where you want to work, with whom you want to work, as often or as little as where you're. Listen, I sit down at the beginning of the month, along with my partner, along with my bride. We figure out what days we want to work and where, if we do that month, and when, and then we decide what days we want off. We decide, and then at the very end, we say, what are our work days? And so I don't have to worry about whether there's a global catastrophe. I don't have to worry about whether it's a bad or fair weather day in my community. I don't have to worry about anything, assuming that what I can do for them is help generate, in this example, funds and awareness, what we call free and easy, no risk money. If I can do that, make it irresistible, almost financially irresponsible for anybody to say no, then I have nothing to worry about. And as a performer, as a presenter, it's very, very simple to do. Very simple to do. You don't have to wait for that company to have that company picnic. You don't have to worry about whether the landscape allows for live in-person events or digital only events, or a combination of those things. So you have absolute calendar control, and you move from making a living, generating a lifestyle. Ultimately, if you start involving what I like to charitable cause groups all over the world, then you get to actually leave a legacy, all at the same time doing what you're most passionate about.
So that model like that, does that kind of work in almost all markets, like similar for like working restaurant, table magic?
You can, this is beautiful. And some of our members that under our council, we recommended that they partner with the local, especially when things started shutting down and access became more limited, and it was drive up or delivery only or all of those things. Imagine for a second partnering with your favorite food establishment, and or one thing you do is like work curbside while people are waiting for their food to literally be hand delivered. What if you engage them for a few months on behalf of that restaurant?
Mm-hmm.
Right? Or what if, imagine this, that you engage with, let's say, 4 different local area restaurants that all do this drive up or home delivery food service. And along with the food, they get a flyer or a coupon or a presentation or a framed event or a message in a bottle or whatever, however creative you want to be. And they unfold and read this message. It says, congratulations. Thank you for joining us here at Chez Foo Foo. This is your menu for tonight. And oh, by the way, we do have some digital tableside entertainment for you. Simply call up this website, and a magician will be alongside to entertain you for a few short moments while you're enjoying your meal.
Very cool.
And it's what does that cost? Nothing. And let's just say, for the sake of conversation, since we're talking about profiting from your passion, let's say you do that for You're not getting, let's say now, by the way, I'm not an advocate for discounting in a digital environment. As a matter of fact, the content is exactly the same, if not better. And you have greater reach, plus the cost of acquisition is much lower. So they're actually saving money. So, but let's just say, because I'm a simple-minded guy and a simple math-minded guy as well, let's just say it was $100 a digital appearance. So if you had 4 restaurants sending 4 meals, that's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, right? 16 presentations, $1,600 a night from sitting home for a couple hours in front of your webcam, strolling up digitally tableside and entertaining people for a few short moments, or, rolling up, again, it could be a live cam that's just going on and you're just doing your thing for this window, this 2-hour window, or you could do scheduled events as people are saying, hey, they're scheduled for a 6:30 tableside, whatever, that kind of thing. So,
or like almost a dinner and a show kind of thing. You go to the drive-through, pick up your to-go, bring it back home, and the show's going to start at 7:00.
That is correct. And the people that adjusted to the digital, what is now being referred to as the digital landscape or the digital evolution and revolution. It is nothing. It's been there we've been doing digital events for well over 15 years. And so this is part of the natural landscape now. This is not the new economy. It's not the new normal. It's the now economy, the now normal. It is what it is, and it's not going anywhere.
Yeah, all this stuff, there's a little bit of a blessing in disguise, because pre-pandemic, it was like, what's Zoom? And now everybody knows how to do it.
Yeah. Zoom used to be little more than a children's PBS television program. Now it is the verb in the marketplace. It's not like Kleenex or Coke, or it's Zoom. You don't go to GoToMeeting. You go to Zoom. I'm going to do it. We've got 3 Zoom sessions today. Now it might be, yeah, exactly. So, and here's the other thing too, is that we're no longer limited to our geography. It's anytime, any place access. So you could be speaking in Dubai and in Bangladesh and in Canada and in America and South America and, all parts of Asia, all at the same time, or at least with the same click of a mouse button. And your capital investment is you didn't have to fly. Your time, your talent, your treasure, your trust, we talked about earlier on. Your time is considerably less. Your talent, it's the same, if not more. Your treasure, there's capital investment is non-existent. And your trust, the people can know, like, and trust you, and you can know, like, and trust them and build relationships just as fast, if not faster, in a digital environment than you can in an offline environment. So
what are your suggestions as far as getting traffic and getting above the noise? Because everybody's trying to get that eyeball, and there's only so much bandwidth in a day. There's only 24 hours. So how do you grab your share of that?
Well, the simple answer is serve. Again, if I help enough other people get something they want, need, desire, and ultimately
deserve, great answer.
I don't have to sell you on anything. So stop selling, advance your service strategy, and serve. Like, go out, like what we're doing right now. We're creating value for people who want to make a difference in their communities by potentially partner with, let's say, nonprofits, as we talked about. I'm going to give you all the trainings, all the tools at that pay it forward and profit thing. So some might reach back out and go, hey, Brad, tell me more about that process. Hey, Dean, I'd love to know more about how I could potentially work with you. But that's not the expectation. The expectation is you serve. And from a perspective of service, it's serve the 90 and support the 10. So, all you need is a few of them to come along and saying, I'd like to know more.
Because if you keep giving, eventually you're going to get. And if you're comparing the two and someone says, get on my webinar and I've got a free gift for you, your mind starts going, I don't know what that free gift is all about. Is that? And then it's this upsell thing that happens when you get the email. But if you keep on giving, a good example is Gary Vaynerchuk, even though he's got a foul mouth, but he just keeps creating content.
Yeah, he wrote all about it in his book, Jab, 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 Punch. Just give, punch.
It's like a jam auction, isn't it?
Yeah, that's very much.
Las Vegas.
That's very much like it. Just go serve. And listen, the worst case scenario from a marketing perspective is they'll go, wow, that was cool. I might not buy what you have to offer, but that was cool. Thanks. I mean, that's the worst case.
And the worst case scenario from a performer is you got some practice in.
And exactly. But here's the thing. Just because you're not getting a fee in no way means you're not getting paid. And whether you're partnering with a charitable cause group, whether you're partnering with a mom and pop Main Street business, a business leader, like as a champion relationship, i.e. air quotes sponsorship, there are people who want access to the places you have access to. So if you partner with a restaurant and you say, hey, if it wasn't for the kindness of this restaurant and these 3 businesses, this would be a $3,000 bill, but it's not. You only paid $100 or, because of their generosity, you get this. And, and by the way, you also get these downloads. Oh, and by the way, you also get, and everybody walks away with a favorable flavor in their mouth as a direct result of interacting with you. And that's just, here's what it all boils down to. And I realize we're going way over time by comparison. So I will close with this.
All good. It's all
One
good.
of 2 things happens in every human interaction. Hear me clearly now, because this is the key to success in everything you'll do. One of 2 things happens in every human interaction. 1, you make a deposit, or 2, you make a withdrawal. And without going into great length and detail, our job in print, online, offline, our business card, our website, everything is simply designed and should simply deliver more deposits than withdrawals. That's all. Just simply make more deposits. And how you do that will determine how successful you will be. So make more deposits than withdrawals.
Well, those are some wise words from the Dean of Marketing. It's may your cup runneth over, right? Keep pouring it in there. Eventually, you're going to get the overflow. Way to work.
I appreciate you, brother. Thank you for,
Yeah,
and thank you all for sticking around for a little longer than normal. Appreciate
No problem. Is a wealth of knowledge. That's the idea. You give more and more and more, and you get more than your 15 minutes, right? I'm going to put you in the green room. And by the way, in there, we've got some digital hors d'oeuvres if you want. There's
Perfect.
probably some snacks back there, and it's all locale.
In a blanket. I'm down for it.
Okay. You stick around. We'll have a little chat after. Thank you very much.
Absolutely. I'm here.
There he is. Our man, Dean Hankey. That's his website right there. If you want to learn more about him, and his way of doing things is payitforwardandprofit.com. So that's it, ladies and germs. This is Magic Brad signing off. I want you to be good, be kind, be nice. Be nice. Peace. See ya.